guys? Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Let's talk today about knee pain. If you've been lifting for any length of time, likely you've had some sort of knee pain or might have knee pain in the future if you're not doing the right things. Guys, knee pain can debilitate your leg workouts. I know, I've suffered from it, and I know what it can do to your legs when you're trying to squat, and especially squat heavy. So what I want to do today is first of all cover a couple of the reasons what might be causing your knee pain, because that's going to be important to understand the difference, and then show you one that I think is really common, especially for guys that train and lift weights. So if we look here, we've got our boy Raymond and we've got our skeleton. So what you'll see is that in the knee we've got a lot of different sources of pain. Now you guys have probably heard about ACL pain and MCL pain and LCL, right? Well, we're talking about tears really, because those are ligaments that get injured during sports most often. Those are the ACL and PCL are inside the knee. The LCL and MCL are going to be on the inside and outside of the knee. And basically, that's just one source of injury. But we've also got osteoarthritic changes that can happen where you actually get degenerative changes on the bone and bone area, or on the underside of the patella here that grinds up against the femur. We could talk about that in a second. We also have meniscus issues. Guys talk about that. It's the cushion between the two bones here, the tibia and the femur, that gives us that space between the joint that can wear down or tear. But I find that the most common injury that we get when we train are inflammatory conditions from overuse of the patellar tendon. So patellar tendon, this is what you're seeing right here, okay? And what it does is it runs over the patella here, it holds it in place, and you can get inflammation of this a lot of times causing patellofemoral issues. We heard that before, and it impacts the tracking of the patella when your knee goes into flexion and extension. So as we flex the knee and extend the knee, you want normal mechanics of the patella, so you get this glide, and it glides right in this groove right here. You can see that it's supposed to glide right in this groove, but what will happen is it starts to get out of position. Well, guess what? This isn't a knee issue. I talked about this before. This is not a knee issue. The knee is a train, and this is its track, here and here. So guess what happens when the track gets twisted? The knee and the train goes flying off the track. So when you start looking and focusing all your efforts on the knee pain and trying to cure the patellofemoral issues or try to cure your patellar tendonitis, and you're not paying any attention to the track, you're way off track. So what you want to do is you want to start looking for the source and the cause of your knee pain, because most often, 99% of the time, the source of that is going to be somewhere else. And then when we look at this, it's either going to be the track at the bottom, which is going to be controlled by your ankle and foot, or the track at the top, which is going to be controlled by the muscles in your hip. So if you look at what goes on here, if you're somebody that has flat feet, again, one of my biggest issues, if you have flat feet, your foot will collapse down and in, okay? There's no arch, so the arch comes down and in. That takes the tibia here with it into internal rotation. Well, this stays here, this gets twisted in, now you've got a twisted track. So now if this thing tries to move on this twisted track, you can see it's off the track already. It's actually being pulled in, you can see. So it's off the track. That's not going to move smoothly as we do this. And with every rep of your squat with a flat foot, that patella is banging up against the side of the track. Guess what happens? Inflammation. You can get inflammation on the underside of the patella. You can get inflammation up through the tendon. We have issues though, okay? So now, up at the hip, more common, because you can fix this. You can use an orthotic down here to try to boost up your arch so you can sort of fix the mechanics and reestablish your straight track. But up here, guys, this is the big issue. Most guys have weak, underdeveloped hips. We talked about that a lot too. If your hip is underdeveloped and it can't control the internal or external rotation here of your femur, the same thing's going to happen. This could be all in line, but if this gets pulled down and in, you've got an issue. If this gets pulled out too much because of tightness into your hip, you've got an issue. But again, I find the biggest issue here is glute medius weakness, and that's something that we could actually address too. So I wanted to show you one of the ways that you can address that and even test yourself and see. The easiest test, and I know it's going to sound embarrassing, especially coming from a strength coach, but lay on your side and do the Jane Fonda leg raise up and down to the side. Do about 50 of them. Do 50 of them and let me know in this video below if it burns like hell, because I guarantee if you have weak glute medius, you're going to feel a real burn that might feel pretty damn intense, and you might be squatting 350, 400 pounds. It might still feel like it really burns. So if that happens to you, you got to get that stronger. So one of the ways that we do that is with a glute medius hip bump. And it's really pretty simple. What you're trying to do is you're trying to allow your body to drop. Right? In PT we call this a Trendelenburg sign, where it just drop down to the side. Right? Because you're letting go of the muscles over here that keep you upright. So here, in order to get it back, we have to contract our glute medius, which is going to pull our pelvis back and over to the side over here. So what we're doing is we're doing a closed chain hip abduction. We know hip abduction, if we're looking at the right leg, is just lifting our leg out to the side like that. If we were to try to do that in a closed chain with our foot connected to the ground, this is what it would look like. I'm basically letting the leg go further away from my midline as I raise my midline to the right. So just after doing this a little bit, I can really feel a burn in that left side glute medius. Maybe it's not enough for you. All you got to do is attach a band, get inside of it, and here, put it around your hips. Do the same thing. Get up on your left leg. If you're trying to work the left hip, you get up on the left leg and you face the hip that you're working inside towards the source of the band, the point of attachment. You let yourself drop. Just get really lazy. Let your hips drop. From here, you squeeze it straight over to the side. Let it drop. Squeeze your hips straight over the side. This is not an ankle move. This is not a knee move. This is a hip move. All your focus should be right here. Let it drop. Squeeze your hip lateral straight over to the side. Hold it for a second and then come down. I can already, again, feel this burning and obviously working a weak area. We had some top major league athletes that had extremely weak hips, and you would be surprised because they were strong everywhere else. This can cause knee pain, this can cause chronic knee pain, inflammation, and everything else that it is you're feeling. So just because it's small and it seems like kind of a girly exercise, it doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile and something you should do. So guys, again, knee pain, the take-home message is here. There's a lot of different kinds of knee pain. As a trainer, I see guys working out a lot of times. They're dealing with a lot of the chronic inflammatory conditions, mostly of the tendons, patellar tendon namely. You can fix it, but you got to look other places. You can't look right at the knee. You got to look up and down at your ankle, up at your hip, find out what the cause is. If it persists and you are training with much more than knee pain, it might be time, guys, that you have to start looking into other solutions. We've created the ATHLEAN-X joint supplement for that very reason. I realize how many guys train in pain. Every time I put up one of these videos, there's 50 other requests for shoulders, elbows, wrists, neck. People are dealing with pain. We can fix that, but you got to look in the right places. And if you have to, guys, you can take, again, find ATHLEAN-RX mechanics over at ATHLEAN-RX.com. Meantime, if you found this helpful, leave a thumbs up below and a comment. Again, I'll make more of these videos as you demand them. So just let me know what it is you want to see. All right, guys, I'll see you guys back here again soon.